Ghabary is a language that came from Wikipedia. Hear me out. Where is the scripture that Ghabary is a language spoken by the people? No spokesman, no scripture in prophecy. They have no proof of their origin. Show me the origins of Ghabary. Show me the spokesman. Show me the scripture. Show me the vowels. Where are the vowels in the Ghabary language? Whoever brought the Ghabary language to you is following Arabic people. Ghabary has butchered the alap symbol. Lashawan Kodash is related to the Ghabary language because Lashawan Kodash is an attempt to bring back the pure language. It is a made-up language. It's a recent language, and this video will show the proof. Jeremiah 17, verse 9. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? On PrimitiveSignLanguage.com, I refuted the language of Ghabary months ago. You can check out the link right here to reference. The claim of Ghabary is that this language was spoken by the Israelites of ancient days. Another claim of Ghabary is that it is the pure, refined language. I ask you this question. Where's the proof of that? If they have the pure and refined language, who is the spokesman of Ghabary? Who brought Ghabary to you? Where is the scripture that Ghabary is a language spoken by the people? Because the word Ghabary comes from the word Ibari. This is the word that was used to translate Abraham's people. Abraham's people in the translation was called Hebrew. But if you look at the symbols, the symbol actually says Ibari. And the Ghabary language takes the first letter, which is the O-looking letter, which is called the I, takes this letter, which is called the I, and gives it a G sound. So the word Ghabary comes from the word Ibari, and they just made the O-looking letter into a G sound. But the language of the Israelites was never called Ibari. It was never called Ibari. So when this fake made-up language came to be, they basically followed the fake Jews, call their language Hebrew. And they state that the word Hebrew comes from Abraham's people, which is Ibari. But upon research, the people were called Ibari. The Israelites were called Ibari, but the language was never called Ibari. And I've already proven this. My name is Aitari, and many of you who know me know I often say this. But do you know why I always introduce myself as Aitari? Number one, it's my name that is given to me in the scriptures because I discovered the Manakati language. More so, I prayed to Yah and he revealed it to me, and I came with proof. After I discovered the Manakati language, I found myself in the scriptures. The scripture described me and what I would bring, which is basically the knowledge that the Manakati language, which is the origin of Hebrew, which you know as modern Hebrew, which you know as ancient Hebrew, actually came from Manakati. Manakati is a language spoken in the days before the Tower of Babel and sometimes after. Again, who is the spokesman of Ghabary? Who is the person who brought this language to you? You need to ask this question. This is important because I have a whole verse and I proved myself in the video. I am Aitari. I've already proved myself that I am Aitari, the one who's supposed to bring the pure, refined language to you. I proved 100% that I have the origins of the signs. But why? Why does the Ghabary language have so much attention, so much play? Because the heart is deceitful and you don't really want to know the truth. I came to you with the Manakati language using a scripture, Zephaniah 3, 9 to 10. I came with proof using hand gestures. I'm going to show you this word. This word means butterfly. It's pronounced pod, okay? How do you know this word means butterfly? Well, the hand gestures will tell you. Let's first look at the first symbol. The first symbol is the paw symbol. The paw symbol sometimes is signed like this. There are many variations to the paw symbol, okay? And then we have the Ra'ash symbol. The Ra'ash symbol is called the head. This is the hand gesture, one of the hand gestures. In the word par, meaning butterfly, it's signed like this. You take two Ra'ash symbols and you put it together, and then you make the pa symbol come out. What do you see? You see a butterfly. This is the hand gesture of butterfly. This is par, okay? The hand gestures communicated to you and confirmed the translation of par. My name is Aitari. I have a very important job, but my job isn't getting attention and it's not getting your support. But I do see Ghabary, which is a deceitful language, Jeremiah 17 verse 9, who is the spokesman again of Ghabary. How do you know Ghabary is the pure language? I showed you just now using one word that I am Aitari. The ayin symbol in the Ghabary language is called Gayin. It's called Gayin because a Wikipedia said that the ayin symbol, which is the O-looking symbol, which is called the I, has the Ga sound. Where has Ghabary proven in your heart that it makes the I sound? Because of Wikipedia? Look at this Wikipedia. This is where whoever brought this information to you got it from. The Arabic. Let's watch this video together. I'm gonna put the video right here. Let's watch it.
Let me give you some example of this letter where it's found. It can be found at the beginning of the word, for example, Ain, I, Azizi, my dear. Aziz is dear. Arabi, Arabiya. Asfur, which is a bird. Umr, it's years or age. So you can find it a lot at the beginning of words, but you can also find it in the middle, which is much harder to pronounce it. For example, ba'd means after. Fa'ala, it's the verb.
The Manakati language is the language of all people. And this unique sound is unique to the Arabic people. This is how they make their sound. The letters of the Arabic language is closely related to Hebrew. As a matter of fact, the ancient Hebrew symbols that you see up here is actually Manakati symbols. These symbols did not come from the so-called Hebrew language. These symbols came from the language during the Tower of Babel. The proof has already been there. The ayin symbol did not make an I sound. I found that the original language was a musical language, and that sound is definitely not musical. But in the Manakati language, it is not so. Okay, the ayin symbol makes the I sound, and it kind of sounds similar. Gai and I is very, very close, but I is more musical than I. Okay, it's really difficult to say also. It's really ugly and difficult to say. This is my opinion. I think it's ugly. Okay, and it's difficult. And this letter does not make that sound. This letter makes the I sound. And I do explain why it makes the I sound in my book. You can discover the sound of Manakati symbols and rest assured about the sound that certain letters make based on the attributes of the symbols. And you can't know the attributes without reading my book because it's a lot. After the people in the days of Noah stopped building the Tower of Babel, they dispersed and their communications started to dwindle. And so they took it upon themselves to create new languages, to change the symbols, okay? Maybe it was to keep their secrets, perhaps, because languages is what divides us. And if we can't communicate with each other with language, then we are divided. Yah said he was going to gather his people, and he wants all of us to know his name, Yahweh. Yahweh. If you notice, it looks like I took great breath in, and then I took it out. Yah is the giver of breath and life, okay? His name is spelled like this in the Manakati language. It utilizes two abal symbol, which is called the breath. This is why Yah has the ah sound. The Yid symbol is called the hand. This is the hand. The abal symbol is the breath. Look at the abal symbol. Do you see the breath? It's a fan gesture. Yah, wah. So I'm connecting the breath with another breath because his breath gives us life. When he takes away his breath, we die. Okay? So his name refers to the fact that he is the Elohim that gave us breath and life. Okay? His name is very significant. When I wrote my book, The Origins of Language, it's a short book because it doesn't take too much effort to find the proof of the Manakati language. This book is less than $5. You can read it for free on Kindle. But I also have portions of this book for free to read on manakati.com. All you have to do is sign up for the introduction course to the Manakati language. You can read this book, a portion, many pages of this book on manakati.com right now for free, okay, after you watch this video. In my book, The Origins of Language, I put together the archaeological evidences and the scriptural evidences that the Manakati language was spoken after the Tower of Babel. The language of Noah and his 3 sons was still being spoken. You could see this in the scriptures because the Pharaoh and Abraham did not need translators. Abraham and the Pharaoh spoke easily together. There's nothing in the scripture concerning translation or misunderstanding. Everybody spoke Manakati. And when a language was introduced in the scriptures, it was mentioned in the scriptures. The first language that the Israelites spoke after the Manakati language, which is the original language of mankind, is Ya'udit. Ya'udit is what is translated as Judean. And I realized that the translators tricked us. Okay, in the word Ya'udit, in the translation, they put Hebrew or they put the language of the Jews. They don't properly translate the word Ya'udit, okay? And then when you go to Strong's Concordance in the word Ya'udit, you're going to see that it says Hebrew, okay? So the modern Hebrew language is called Hebrew. Ancient Hebrew language is Ya'udit, but the language before the ancient Hebrew language, which is Ya'udit, is Manakati. This is the language of all people. Ya'udit is the origin of the modern Hebrew language. The word Hebrew is not associated in the Bible with the language of the Israelites. The translators took the word Ya'udit, which can be translated as Judean, but you don't need to translate it as Judean, but this is what it was. It was translated as Judean, was switched over, and it's called Hebrew when you look in the concordance. But when you look at the symbols of the language that the Israelites spoke looks like this, Ya'udit, okay? And the language that we are told is supposed to look like this, Ibari. And they said that the word Hebrew came from the word Ibari, but these letters don't make those sounds, okay? So that is made up too. The heart is deceitful and desperately wicked. I come to you with a scripture. I come to you with a prophecy. I come to you with great and much evidence, and no one can refute me. I ask you this, where are the vowels of the Ghabary language? Apparently there are no vowels. Ghabary is related to Israelite Hebrew, better known as Lashawan Quadash. The Israelites saw right away that the ancient symbols were the letters of their language. And it was a good attempt to bring back the ancient language. Manakati means from origin of hand signs. From origin, hand signs. Manakati. Show me the origins of Ghabary. Show me the spokesman. Show me the scripture. Show me the vowels. Where are the vowels in the Ghabary language? Why do so many Israelites go to this newly created language? Lashawan Kodash is related to the Ghabary language because Lashawan Kodash is an attempt to bring back the pure language, okay? But the Ghabary language did not succeed any further than Lashawan Kodash. Lashawan Kodash is a better attempt than the modern Hebrew attempt to bring back the pure language because at least Lashawan Kodash and the Ghabary language utilizes the ancient symbols. However, Ghabary has butchered the Alap symbol. The Alap symbol can't be identified. The Alap symbol is something entirely different because they believe that the Ghabary language came from the Canaanites and that the Israelites spoke a version of the Canaanites language that came after. And so the Alap symbol that they use is a corrupt version of this symbol, okay? From their symbol, you cannot see the hand gestures, but the alap symbol, you can see the alap symbol in the Manakati language, but not in their symbols. Okay, the language was confounded. Okay, we need to really find the professor, the person who introduced the Ghabary language. We need to find this person and we need to ask him many questions. You got some explaining to do. Okay, lots of explaining to do. You do not have the pure language. Okay, you have no evidence. It doesn't hold water. If you're satisfied to follow language with no spokesman, no scripture in prophecy, they have no proof of their origins. They're telling you that they came from the Canaanites. The Israelites followed the Canaanites and then they got a version from it. So they're trying to tell you that the ancient Hebrew language came from the Canaanites because this is what we're told right now. Okay, this is what's being told. They do not believe in the Tower of Babel. The Manakati language is not Hebrew. It's the language before Hebrew. It's the language way before Ghabary. Ghabary is made up. It's the language before Lashon Kadash. It's the language before all these languages you see. This is the language that utilizes hands. Okay, we utilize our hands when we speak, and the Manakati language was created by the fact that we use our hand when we speak. Shalom.